Topping the news this Friday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi rejected the idea of a down payment on President Trump's border wall as a way to reopen the federal government. The president floated the idea at the White House after the Senate voted down two bills, one from each party, that would break the impasse. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Minority Leader Chuck Schumer ended the day with discussions behind closed doors. A spokesperson for Schumer later said Democrats have made clear they will not support funding for the wall. The impact of the shutdown is trickling into other departments in Montana that have not had any impact yet. Government employees working for the federal court in Montana will soon be working without pay. We're told the United States Court for the District of Montana will run out of money by Thursday. If the government is still shut down, the court will operate what's called the Anti-Deficiency Act, which means they'll be operating on essential funds only. This will limit work at all 5 courthouses and 3 satellite and pre-trial service offices. Staff will work full-time, travel will be restricted, and non-essential activities will be suspended. Now we go to Yellowstone National Park, where help is flowing in for furloughed park workers, but as MTN's John Shearer explains, it may not be enough.
Working for the park is a mainstay here in Gardner. Mammoth Park headquarters is just up the hill from here. That means a high percentage of people in this town are affected by the federal government shutdown.
Our community's hurting, and when even one of our community hurts, especially because of outside forces, we're all hurting.
James Halfpenny, Katie Wilkinson, and Jenny Burr are just 3 of many people who stepped up to help their friends.
We wanted to have something available to employees who might not feel comfortable for whatever reason coming into a food pantry.
So the 2 women organized a community table of sorts in the Mammoth Community Center. Commodities, even some fresh food, is available to pick up.
And right now at the local Conoco, people can go in and get gas cards.
The Gardner Market is extending accounts to park workers, and there's even help for people working deep in the interior of the park.
I've got a good working relationship with a lot of them where I felt like I could ask some of the hard questions about how they really were doing. And I did start to get some feedback where there was a need.
But the logistics of getting help to those extremely remote areas is tough.
You do snowmobile in and out of those places. It's very weather dependent. And those are long trips to make by yourself on a snowmobile.
Wilkinson knows. She used to live in the interior. Now, the women are getting supplies in with the help of oversnow delivery trucks. Halfpenny reached out to his fellow researchers.
All over the United States, literally.
He hoped to raise a few $100s. Instead, he got thousands.
The response mostly from people is, thank you for doing this. Our federal workers need the help.
It's not just money. Not working at a job most dearly love is disheartening.
They were having such a hard time coming to terms with not being able to go to work to do the job that they love.
And what happens as the federal shutdown drags on? Well, many people here tell me it just gets harder every day. In Gardner, just outside Yellowstone National Park, I'm John Shearer for MTN News.
And John tells us the money Halfpenny is collecting is also helping park workers pay monthly bills. Halfpenny says if there is any money left over at the end of the shutdown, the remaining money will be given to the Gardner Food Pantry. In other news, another prominent Republican announced he's running for governor in 2020. State Attorney General Tim Fox. Fox launched his campaign early Thursday. Fox is 61 years old and has been Attorney General since 2013, easily winning re-election to his second and final term in 2016. Fox's announcement didn't come as a big surprise. He has said for months he was considering the race. Earlier this month, Republican Secretary of State Corey Stapleton said he's running for governor in 2020, and sources have told MTN News that Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte is giving the race a look as well. The governor's seat will be open because term limits prevent Democrat Steve Bullock from running again. Fox told MTN News he's a Republican who can win in 2020 because of his track record of working with people of all political stripes to solve tough problems.
I think being an effective leader is more than just standing in front of a microphone and a camera and yelling. It's about bringing people together. It's about finding solutions to real world problems. Those are things that I think that I've been able to epitomize in the last 6 years. Republicans need to win the governor's office. It's been a drought that's gone on too long, and I'm the guy that can do that.
Democratic candidates for 2020 have yet to emerge. From the 66th session, a bill tightening the regulations on prescribing opioid painkillers in Montana won unanimous approval late Thursday by a House committee. The bill says first-time opioid prescriptions can be written for only a 7-day supply. The measure also says any prescriber of these pain-killing drugs must first review the patient's records in the state prescription drug registry. House Bill 86 is one of several measures developed by Attorney General Tim Fox as part of his effort to combat drug abuse in Montana. The bill's sponsor, Republican Representative Vince Rickey of Laurel, said part of the bill is aimed at stopping prescription drug addiction before it starts.
Opioid naive patients, or the patients that are going to get prescription for the first time, maybe this will help reduce addiction that way. So with that, I just would ask that you pass on this bill. Thank you.
And the bill's next vote will be on the House floor. Wrapping up our news this Friday, a local girls in Tampa, Florida this week, not soaking up the sun, but training. Ashlyn Dvorak is at the National Olympic Development Program camp. They aim to identify players for the national teams and give players exposure to higher level coaches. Q2's Jenny Fick has her story.
Meet Ashlyn. She is 14 and loves soccer. After qualifying regionally, she is taking her training to the next level by participating in this year's National Olympic Development Program.
The idea is really bringing the best players in the country to one location. For Ashlyn to make it from Montana is almost unheard of.
There's just going to be lots of soccer. Many coaches, high-level coaches are going to be out there. We'll get to play with girls from all over the U.S.
The camp will give her an opportunity to train and compete with the highest level athletes, as well as building her resume and exposing her to college coaches.
She'll be training with the elite of the elite, some great feedback from some really high qualified and awesome coaches. She'll bring back a wealth of knowledge that I know she'll be able to share with her teammates. Knowing Ashlyn will only drive her to be more hungry, to get back there and play at that level.
She is the only person chosen from Montana, one of only 75 in the nation, and one of only 8 goalies.
She's a joy to coach. I would say she's like a mini professional player, like playing in the goal. Her technique and skill is so good. She's coachable, so she wants to get better.
It'll be cool to represent Montana and all the soccer that we have to offer. Not many people think that we are at that high level of state, but I'll go to prove them wrong.
The criteria that are considered for those chosen to attend are technique, fitness, tactics, and attitude.
I would be surprised if she doesn't sleep with her goalkeeper gloves on. She loves the game that much. She's always watching it, always in the backyard juggling. She's done so much on her own. It's certainly not just the 3 practices a week, that I've been able to work with her.
I love soccer because it's just the way I can express myself literally in my life. It's great. I love it.
Her love for the game has been the most consistent thing about her, which I think has really allowed her to grow. She's really worked hard to get to this point, and I know that she'll love it and make the most of her opportunity.
In Billings, Jenny Fick, MTN News.
And from here, Ashlyn will receive evaluations from the camp and can use those critiques in